Yo, what's up everybody, FornaTRON here, and today we're talking about, does Bloodborne need a remaster or a remake? Let's get into it. This has been going on for like, I'd probably say about 8 months or so, where people have been talking about the whole like Bluepoint and Sony and like them possibly making like a successor to Bloodborne or a Bloodborne 2, or they're remaking the first Bloodborne. And I released a video previously how a Bloodborne 2 is just not happening. And I still believe in that. No matter how many comments I get about it, I still believe that it's not happening. It got me thinking, like, will there ever be like a Bloodborne remaster or a Bloodborne remake? For me, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion, is I don't think Bloodborne needs a remake. I just think it needs a remaster. So kind of like Dark Souls got a remaster, and there was just a lot of quality of life improvements that were added to that game. So like 60 frames per second, I think it's running at 1080p or even 4K. And I think Bloodborne can go the same route. And I just don't understand the people that are asking for there to be like a complete remake of Bloodborne. They're comparing it to the Demon Souls remake. The reason why Demon Souls was such a good game to remake was because it launched on the PS3 in 2009. The PS3 was, if I think of that time, was like not that popular of a console compared to its PS2 competitor, and the Xbox 360 was just crushing it at that time. And then also with Demon Souls not being that popular in 2009, it kind of just got swept under the rug. So not that many people got to play Demon Souls. And now that Dark Souls and now Elden Ring is so popular, a lot of people are going back and playing From Software's back catalog. So they're playing Sekiro, they're playing the Dark Souls series, they're playing the Demon Souls remake, they're playing Bloodborne. There is still a large audience, and I've even seen it on my channel just in the comments and the polls that I run, of people who have played the Dark Souls trilogy and Sekiro and Elden Ring but have never played Bloodborne and have zero plans to play Bloodborne or the Demon Souls remake or Demon Souls until they come out on PC. That's just kind of the way it is with a lot of the Souls fans. I just don't think a remake is what Bloodborne needs, because Demon Souls got the remake because no one played it in 2009, and then even when people picked up the other games, it still didn't like get looked at that much because people didn't want to play a PS3 in like 2017 or 2016 or even up to 2019 or up until 2020. Nobody wanted to play a PS3. And I know there's PS3 emulation, but I don't know, it's just such a niche thing. So that's why it needed that remake, for a whole new audience to experience that game, because it's still a great game. Yeah, it's janky compared to the rest of the Souls games, but it's still a great game. But Bloodborne has been played by a lot of people. Not everybody, and I know it's like 2+ million copies sold, possibly in the 5 million range. I don't have official numbers on that, but that's still a small margin compared to like the 12 million people that have played Elden Ring, or like the 10 million people that have played Dark Souls 3. So it's still not that high. And it being exclusive to Sony doesn't help. It's great for Sony, but I don't know, like, I just feel like as a fan of Bloodborne is my first Souls game. It's always going to hold a special place in my heart. I just want it to have a remaster. So I don't need a remake. I think you can't copy that aesthetic in a remake. Like, the Demon Souls remake was great. It was very true to the original in a lot of ways, but still there was a lot of decisions that were made that kind of just like, it made it different. Like, you could tell it was Demon Souls, but like, you could also be like, this doesn't 100% feel like a From Software game. And that's just with aesthetic. And Bloodborne is all aesthetic. It's all setting, it's all vibe, it's all mood. And the gameplay is great, but it does have its jank. But you can't carbon copy that if you're not From Software. And I don't think From Software will have a part in it. So I just don't want to see a remaster get made and then the entire mood of the game just completely get ruined. So I think all of us fans of Bloodborne, all we're asking for is a remaster of the game. You don't even need to up-res the game. Keep it at 1080p, but have it at a locked 60 frames per second. Maybe fix some of the pacing issues, and that's literally it. And I would be happy to throw $60 to have that game. If you up-res it to 4K, meh, like, great. I'm sure the pixel counters will be happy, but I really don't care. You can just keep it at 1080p for me. Like, you don't need to do a lot to make that game like sell. What's funny is when I put out that video that Bloodborne 2 isn't happening, there were so many people like, yeah, but with the popularity of Elden Ring, it'd be stupid for Sony to not like try to squeeze that out and like put some kind of updated version or some whatever release to capitalize on that. And it's like, Again, that game sold 2 million copies. And let's use an example like Days Gone. So Days Gone sold 9 million units and they tried to push for a sequel and Sony was like, nah, we're good. One was enough for us. And that game sold 9 million copies. That's more than 3 times Bloodborne. That's more than 4 times. That's almost 5 times as many as Bloodborne. Math. But they opted no. And there could have been a lot of reasons for that. Like they could have been like the whole zombie thing is kind of played out. I think people are over it. But it just goes to show you like 2 million in sales is not a lot for Sony. Sure, it's like semi-successful and that probably paid for the marketing budget and some other things and probably put a little bit of coin in both Sony and From Software's pockets. But by no means was that a smash success. Just saying that, another example that I like to bring up is the 3rd Tom Holland Spider-Man movie came this close to not happening because Sony didn't want to profit share with Disney and Marvel, even though that any movie that they partnered with has been way more successful than any just single movie that Sony's made on their own. They still were just like, no, we're not into profit sharing 50-50 because we want more money. That 3rd movie almost didn't happen, even though it was like such an amazing smash hit and like was the fastest movie to gross over $1 billion. That just kind of shows you the kind of companies that we're talking about here. Like I feel like Bloodborne is over and done with. It's great. It's an amazing game. I'm always gonna love that game. If anything does happen with it, I just really hope that Sony just like hires a third party to do like a remaster and just have it at 60 frames per second, make it a quick game that they could just put out and charge $60 for, and I would be happy to pay.
No.